remember my dad laughing, playing baseball. When I was at softball practice, my mom afterwards, she said, when you run, it reminds me of Dad. And I was like, what do you mean, like fast? Or she was like, no, the way you run.
Go, go, go! Back!
Sometimes I feel there are days I just don't feel strong, but I know I have to for her. My mom still depends on me, so I have to keep going for her. Losing Terry was never in the equation when we got married.
We need all the help we can get to eradicate this disease, to make this non-existent anymore. Because any one of us, it could happen to any one of us or our loved ones.
Before Ernie was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, he was a man with many interests. He was full of life, enjoyed music. Music was an integral part of his life. He played the trumpet, he played the piano, he sang. And I think it was very painful to see his abilities leave. The day he told me, I said to him, well, how about if you play the piano? Let's sit down and play the piano. And he couldn't talk very much or very well at that point. I mean, language was really escaping him. But he was able to say to me that day, I can't play anymore. And he just sat there with his hands like this, couldn't do anything.
Bob was diagnosed with Alzheimer's in the year 2000, but the diagnosis, I think, was too late. I was extremely lucky because Bob died 3 days after his birthday, and he was never bedridden, but he played drums, and he was a great drummer, and he was the drummer of the 1940s. And he played in 3 bands, and so I invited his band to come, and he got up and played drums the way he always had on his birthday. And then 3 days later, he wasn't with us anymore.
When my father was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was really devastating for us because we knew that this was something that he was never going to be able to survive. You never saw any bitterness in him, never any anger. He was always just so hopeful and positive, and his favorite line was, no problem, like nothing was ever a problem. He's there in front of you, but he's not the same person because he doesn't have his personality. He's not laughing or trying to get good advice or anything of that nature. He's just there.
This is very much a woman's disease. Not only are we impacted as far as we are afflicted more so than men, we are caregivers more so than men. Alzheimer's is taking such a huge toll. We're invisible, but we're somebody's daughter.
My hope for the future would be that people are aware of it and that they find a cure soon, because I don't want other kids to go through what I went through.
My advice to family caregivers who are dealing with this for the first time, reach out, get help. Don't think you can do this on your own. Don't try to be heroic. You need support. Support from people who have been there and walked in your shoes. Support from family and friends. Support from your community. You just have to reach out. And perhaps that first phone call can be to the Alzheimer's Association.